Well, I was waiting for, I forwarded your emails, and I was waiting for an interim order that the vice chair told me that was going to be issued, and it was sent out today. Did you see it in your email?
What is it? With regards to the with regards to the applications from 2021 and 2022?
Yes. So I was waiting for that to be sent out to you, which was sent out today, and that's why I'm now able to call you so that, we can go over it if you want.
Thank you. Let's see. What email address was it sent to? Because I don't have it yet.
Okay, 1 second. Let me see. Okay. I sent it to a.o'neil505@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And it was sent today at...
No, I do not have it yet, Zinnia. Can you send it to me right now?
Yeah, for sure. Give me a second. Let me just go. And I'm going to resend it to everyone, like to you and to...
Can you summarize what it says for me?
Sorry?
Can you summarize what it says for me?
Yeah, I can. Let me just send it to you, okay? Because that way we can go through it together
Sure.
if you like, okay?
Thank you.
Just give me a minute because I want to make sure that they put that they did it exactly how your email address is when you send them. Yeah, a.o'neil505@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. I checked my junk mail too, and it's definitely
so weird. Okay. All right, let me go and do that first.
And has the Ontario Tenant Board received my table of contents of evidence? What am I supposed to do with that? Where do I send the evidence to because I have a USB now. Do I send it to...
If there's an evidence email address, I can give it to you. Do you have a pen and a paper? I'll give it to you.
No, it needs to be sent via mail. Like, it's going to be forwarded via mail, and it includes the evidence from all my cases. I've got 3 USB drives, and I need to be conscientious because they're like $100 each. And I need to be conscientious of who I send it to and who is going to be able to share this information across the courts, because Jan SADDY has an application at the Human Rights Tribunal, at the Ontario Landlord and Tenant Board, as well as the Supreme Court of Canada, the Superior Court of Ontario in London. And so, who am I supposed to be sending this information to, this evidence? Now, do I send it to just Ontario courts? Is that sufficient? And then you guys will be able to access all of the information for the court in the hearing. The table of contents is attached. My mom is going to be summoned as a witness. She says that she feels comfortable, if she's asked to attend. She doesn't feel comfortable doing anything in writing. I would like to move ahead with a hearing as well now. I do not trust this court or the Ontario Landlord and Tenant Board to do anything in writing, so I will be presenting my evidence myself. I don't have a lawyer, and I have to accept that. I've completely exhausted the Law Society. I've even sued the Law Society, and the lawyer that they hired, blocked me and hung up on me, and it's just basically corrupt to the core. And I have I have made contacts in New Mexico, Zania. The governor there is offering asylum to Canadians who are wrongly persecuted. And I'm sending her my USB drive as well. So one of them is going to her to show her what has been happening to me in Canada since 2018 with regards to my claims against Stantec, my landlord, Justin Trudeau, and various other people who have been, acting criminally, as well as the courts. What am I supposed to do here with regards to my lawsuit against the Ontario Land and Tenant Board? I'm now going to be filing another action for criminal negligence with regards to all of this extra abuse that has happened to me since I filed my first application. And since you did not fix or even try to attempt to reduce the damages in my life, it is now evident that with your awareness of the defendant's actions and then the further abuse, it is grounds for criminal negligence on the Ontario Land and Tenant Board's behalf. So, what about that? That's not going to be overlooked, right?
Well, Aaron, they are going to go through everything, okay? It's not that it's going to be overlooked, but it's a written hearing, right? You have written hearing, so all your submissions,
cancel that.
Anything that gets submitted.
No, the second application is actually a video hearing. It says quite clearly on the application. I've canceled the written hearing because I can no longer trust the Ontario Land and Tenant Board to do their due diligence, and I want everything done via Zoom. So I want a hearing scheduled as soon as possible.
Okay, so then it's important that you get this interim order. One was issued for each file. So there's your file, the tenant file, and the landlord file. The interim order, I'm sending it to you right now, and I'm going to send you 2 emails because they were sent separately, one for each file. And it talks about that the hearings are in writing. So if now you want to change that, you need to reply to the email and say, no, I want to change the format back to electronic, and then I'll forward
it actually already says that on the application. So why do I have to do it again?
Because you had requested a written hearing.
And I voided that out a year later on the second application. Did you guys read the whole thing? Do you want me to get it up right now and show you?
Aaron, if you just want to change the format, you just need to reply.
Well, I've already given it to you in writing, so why do you need it again?
Okay.
I've signed it on an application.
Is that when I send you this interim order, these 2 emails, just reply to them and say, I've changed my mind. I don't want a written hearing anymore. I'm requesting to change it back to electronic. And I will forward that. And then the member's going to have to issue another interim order converting it back to electronic. But we have to follow a process. I'm so sorry, but you have to do that, please, okay? Just reply to the email, that's all. But let me send it, okay?
I just don't understand why I have to do things over and over and over again. I really do not like the inefficiency.
Okay, here comes. Let me just send it, please.
I was aware of the fact that
keep talking. I'm just trying to concentrate because I don't want to, make any mistakes and anything.
Well, you're like the only one trying, so thank you.
Okay, so here's the first one, and please check your email, and then I'm going to now go to the other one, okay?
And I'm just going to get my application that I already submitted and highlight where it says I want all future things to be done and I'm ready to be heard in video.
Just please reply to the email and just say,
I
don't want written hearing anymore. Please give me an electronic hearing. And I will grab that email and I will forward it to the member. Okay, please. And then let me go grab the other email. Okay? So just bear with me.
Okay.
Because I'm attaching everything in the file too. I'm putting that I've just sent you this email because you hadn't received it. So let me just make sure I put my notes in the file. Okay.
Okay, there's something, and I'm going to, as instructed on page 10 of the most recent T2 application, I requested a video hearing. Thank you. In writing is no longer going to be. And I will require a minimum of 3 hours per video meeting. So the mediation that occurred between Stantec and Manulife and myself back in April of 2020 took about 6 hours to deal with about a year's worth of, about 2 years worth of violations, which is about kind of where we're at right now with SADDY, multiple years of violations. It's going to take me a lot of time. It's going to be very traumatizing. I'm going to require a minimum of 3 hours to get through everything that needs to be said. I will be preparing a statement, a pre-recorded statement as well. And going forward, everything will be released to the public.
Okay.
As well as courts outside of this country, including the UK, which is the head of state, the monarch, which has been kind of responsible for checking in on what's been happening to Aaron. Since my involvement of the Supreme Court and the High Courts of the United Kingdom, everything seems to be moving pretty quickly over here. In fact, I can barely keep up. It's moving so fast.
Okay. I know that you had mentioned that you were going to have, that you had filed different appeals and you have different cases in different courts. For us, for the LTB, the interim order that we're going to go over, it talked about, some of that evidence that you submitted, and we'll go over it. But did you send an email reply to me already? And just
Yep.
take a look for it. Okay, let me go and just.
Sure. I sent it to the LTB email. LTB accommodations.
Okay, 1 second.
Disclosure of evidence. Submission shall be made by email. So I'll submit it by USB. I mean, with a. I'm just reading this now. I have no idea. There's been nothing provided by the landlord?
That's what it says. I know. I saw that too, right?
Oh my God.
No, I remember you had told me that that she had a lawyer, right? Did she have a lawyer or no?
Yeah, well, I've reported her lawyer to the Law Society of Ontario as well for helping her client obstruct justice. She's broken a few oaths to her, she's broken a lot of oaths.
Yeah, this is really, when I saw that, I was like, what? I couldn't believe it because, I mean, it was pretty clear, right? It was pretty clear that you're supposed to send the submissions by this date, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was all listed, like, with a breakdown of dates,
And did you see her? Did you see her running me over with her car?
Oh, you know what?
I mean, have you seen any of the videos? I mean,
I have a hard time seeing things like that. It's very disturbing.
Yeah, this is my life. I was in a closed driveway, Zinnia, and she drove me 10 meters. She pushed me 10 meters with her vehicle. My knee was swollen. She almost ran over my foot. I was screaming for help, like in the daytime. It was the third time she used her vehicle as a weapon, and she's still protected. Cops told me I hit her car with my knee.
Oh my God.
I know. So it's scary. Like I said, I tried to flee this country for valid reasons. I don't feel safe. I don't feel protected. I don't feel safe. We've had this conversation for a really long time now. And, it's all you keep hearing me saying is like, I just want to feel safe. I just want to feel safe. And the justice system, the court system, the police, the legislators, all of the people that are paid to help people feel safe are actively going out of their way to actually make me feel less safe than the average person. And it's a very clear narrative. And I think a lot of people really underestimated me. And they called my bluffs, and they thought maybe, oh, he's just a retard, he's just screaming air, and it's not going to, amount to anything. Well, I have just submitted a 146-page table of contents to support my character, as well as to show the true colors of these defendants over the course of my entire life, as well as the last 4 years, which have been under litigation. And there's over 5,000. Numbers listing videos, audio, letters. Some of those letters are 100 pages long. It is probably the most substantial submission of evidence that, I'm going to even be as generous to say that most courts have ever seen in their entire lifetime. This is probably one of the biggest cases in history. Besides, the Holocaust and things like that. And I'm speaking for a lot of different people. I created a petition, I'm not too sure if you are aware of that, but it's called...
Yes, I remember you showed it to me.
Yeah, so, about 1,400 people have signed it from around the world, Zinnia. People want compensation for their pain. I am one of those people. I have a lot of pain to share, to be compensated for. There are a lot of criminals that need to be dealt with and coached, and there need to be a lot of policies that need to change. I am going to make sure that everything is put on record. When people have, underestimated me and called me a bluff or have, I don't know what motives anyone would have had to allow what has happened to me for this long, other than to protect profits. And I believe that the motives in this criminal behavior is ultimately to protect profits, to favor the elites, to allow homeowners to get what they want because they're invested in these types of policies. And it just shows an incredible abuse of power and corruption across the system. And the Ontario Landlord Tenant Board, Sean Weir, is just a lawyer. I have no idea what kind of professional background other than managing a law firm for 30 years that he could possibly have at this board that would help anyone in a housing or landlord and tenant issue. And I have sued him as well, and nobody's responded. I served Sean Weir on the Ontario Landlord Tenant Board back in October, and it's still sitting there at the courthouse untouched. I've served evidence, and they are not responding. This should have already gone through a court. What's that about?
Yeah, I mean, every court or every tribunal, excuse me, everybody has their own timelines. I don't know how backed up each one is, but I know ours is backed up because COVID.
So hire more people. The supply and demand, hire more people. Get Sean Weir on the front end. When I was working in customer service, you know what happened? When the line got big, the managers came down to the front line. Is he not trained to do the job at the front end? Because if he isn't, he should pack his fucking bags and get the fuck out. Excuse me for swearing. I'm tired of hearing this COVID bullshit. COVID is in the past, honey. It is written in the past. It's all a bunch of lies. It's literally been a profit scam this entire time. And I'm tired of hearing, oh, we're backed up because of COVID. No, honey. The Ontario court is backed up. You know, courts in the Netherlands, they got through cases that were backed up. When COVID happened, people stopped committing crime, and they actually started to go through things, closed cases, cold cases. The courts in the Netherlands are not backed up. The courts in Europe are not backed up. But Ontario court seems to think it can ride this motherfucking COVID into the future. Girl, it's over. COVID is over. Hire more people back. You tell the director that. I've been telling you guys to hire more people for a really long time. You cannot continue neglecting me and allowing harm to happen to me and tell me that, oh, it's because of COVID. COVID is no longer an excuse to continue harming people.
I hear you, Aaron, and you know, and I know we've talked about all the frustration and everything that you have gone through, and I do hear you, and I do understand. But you know that I'm not one of those people that makes the decisions. I can just give them.
Can you forward that though? You're my only contact in you. I don't want to hear that you can't do anything. I already know you can't do anything.
I can't tell people what to do.
But you can tell them what Aaron wants, can't you?
I'm not a director, you know.
Well, it's going on record either way, sweetie, so you can tell them or they can look at my video later.
Of course. I forward everything, the emails, and I tell them to you know, address it, to look at it, to respond, but I'm not a director, right?
I know that, but you're my only contact at the Ontario Land Tenant Board.
I just want to make sure you know that.
Right? I am fully aware.
Do anything, but there's only so much I can do.
And you know, Zinnia, I've never blamed you really for any of it. You're pretty much the only contact I've had.
I know that you understand me, and I think you know that I also understand you. You know, like it's not like I've never disrespected you. I've always tried to help you, and I'm not here to make things worse for you. I know you know that.
I know that.
So whenever you know you and I talk, I always try to help you. I stayed on the phone with you when
I know with the cops. I know.
And, you know, all kinds of stuff. And I like being there for you.
You're very generous.
But
I know.
Please, I just don't want you to think that, you know, I'm not trying to help you or I don't want to help you. There's only like certain things I'm allowed to do though, and that's where
I don't expect you to change the policy, but I do need it to be put on record. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I know. And I do put always on the record, I put about...
Okay, so that's the important part.
What we've discussed and everything.
Please, thank you. That's the important part. You know.
I know.
You know, like...
Okay. Go ahead.
So I've looked at this very... Certain things definitely stand out more than others. The written submission portion shall not exceed 20 pages in length. I don't really like that. I'm not really keen on restrictions. This is not something that should be restricted. And I don't have a lawyer to do that. So there's not going to be any restrictions to any length of anything, considering this has been going on for 2 years. And there's like thousands of pages of documents that need to be submitted and hours worth of transcript that need to be reviewed. And none of it is going to have any kind of limit whatsoever. So I don't agree with that. I don't believe that Jan should even be allowed a response at this point, considering she's had this long to respond and there's been no response at all. And I have supplied the Ontario Land Tenant Board with evidence since June of 2020. No, like I've been reporting. I have evidence of reporting Jan SADDY to the Land Tenant Board since early 2020, and all throughout 2020. And then the response to her eviction, and then, filing my application, and then, all of this bullshit has been going on. And she's been allowed to continue harming me, which is the most alarming part of all, And the fact that she's not submitted anything and that she's been allowed to continue harming me, what is that about? Like, that should not be allowed. I've submitted all of my evidence to the land tenant board. You didn't like the format of it. That's not my fault. If you don't like the format of Google Drive, that to me is an obstruction of justice, considering the justice system can access information whenever it wants, when I'm being persecuted. And they have no problem going into my computer when they're looking for me. But, you know, when they're looking for evidence against them, that's too hard for us. I don't think we can do that. And I'm sick of these excuses that do not apply to everything. But the USB drive will be submitted. I need to know where to do that. And what's the time limit here?
Sorry?
What's the time limit here?
What time limit?
Like, I'm out of money. Everything, I need this done sooner. Like, all this shit needs to be done, like, yesterday. It's so hard to understand why this is taking so long. It has been 2 years of hell. And, you know, the fact that you guys are still asking for evidence when I've given you everything that you could possibly require to make a judgment is beyond me. The fact that she's not in jail is beyond me. Do you understand?
I understand.
It's crazy.
Okay, so I just checked and I got your email reply when you're asking for it to go back to video. So let me just forward that. Okay.
And what do I do with all these other issues that I have with regards to this little order from Kimberly Parrish? Do I just give you everything that I have in writing?
What?
Like all of my issues with this interim order.
Oh yeah, we can go over it. Let me just send her the email so that they can get started on it. Right?
Okay.
Because they're saying people want a video hearing, so I just want to make sure that I send this right away back to them. Okay, just give me a minute.
And it says that I don't need legal advice. I want legal representation. And the fact that this woman has legal representation and she still hasn't submitted anything over 2 years, and the fact that this psychopath has fucking legal representation and I don't, is a huge injustice. The fact that this criminal has a fucking lawyer and I don't. And she has a lawyer and hasn't submitted a goddamn fucking thing.
Yeah, it's so weird. That part I could not understand.
Because we're dealing with criminals, Zinnia. These are criminals. This is how criminals play. And this is a big one. This is a really big criminal who clearly has a lot of connections, who feels completely invincible and overprotected. And justice may be late, but it will be served. She'll have her time in court. And no one's going to protect her eventually. There's going to be someone that she's going to have to answer to. And
I'm just going to put that I have been on the phone with you and that you confirmed you want this for both files.
And where do I submit this evidence? Where can I mail it? Like overnight? Can you guys store it and send me the USB back?
Well, put that in the when you send it, put that a note about that in the
letter
envelope.
Okay.
Package. Yeah. Put that letter that says.
Because I would like it back so that I can send it to other courts. It's like $100 USB drive.
Yeah, explain that. It's $100. Please, like I need this back. It's important. It's urgent.
Like it has to go to a lot of courts. But I honestly, I think I should just send it to the Governor General at this point, and be like, here, make sure this gets around. Who is, I have already filed a lawsuit against the entire country the Attorney General for the entire country has already reviewed my claims and made a joke out of me, and so he knows who I am, and he has neglected to look at the Google Drive as well. But now I have it all on a USB drive, and I'm sending it to 3 places. I have 3 USB drives. One is going to the New Mexico governor, who is offering asylum to people being persecuted, like myself. Okay, and another one is going to a Germany, European Union member of parliament who just called out Justin Trudeau and knows what's up.
Okay. Sending this email now to them.
And I have one left that's going to be going to the courts here, and I don't know where it's going to go to. But all of this information that's on the USB drive has been available online and available for over 2 years and neglected by the court system, by the Law Society, by lawyers, by defendants.
I know. It's. The thing is that it's like I go, through this with you when we talk, and I still don't know, like, after everything, all the people that you have contacted and everything, like, I'm just wondering, because I don't see, do they reply to you? Like, have you heard back from anyone that you sent other than me?
Yeah.
You heard?
No? Here and there, it's like, I heard back from Richard Canning, a member of parliament in BC. I heard back from Justin Trudeau once. He carefully reviewed everything and dismissed it all. I hear back from everybody like once. I heard back from Krista Freeland, and she's like, "Oh, I can't talk to you about not doing my job because you're suing me for not doing my job, and everything's at the Canadian Human Rights Council, and I can't talk to you about it. So, like, I'm suing her for not doing her job, and she's now using the lawsuit as an excuse to continue not doing her job. And then she just wanted to tell me that in writing. I've gotten responses since I emailed the Supreme Court of the UK. Since then, let's talk about that. I've responded since I contacted the High Courts of the United Kingdom, and the Queen's gotten involved, and I sued the Queen of England. Since that happened, and my applications to the International Criminal Court, let's see, I've had the Ontario Human Rights Tribunal contact me, the Ontario Independent Police Review Board tell me that there's no solution and I have to go to the court system and sue them because they're not even going to look at it. It has to go through the Superior Court. I've had Stantec try and dismiss everything. I've had the College of Physicians dismiss my entire case. I've had the case against Windsor dismissed. I've had retaliation. I've had police officers show up at my door disguised as Rogers Cable guys who have absolutely no technician quality experience trying to install a scanner on my fucking cable line. I have been retaliated by several social media platforms that I've sued for censoring me. They've closed my accounts. There's a huge summary of retaliation that I've experienced since contacting all these people and begging them for help.
Wow. Okay, so I'm just putting notes in the file right now, attaching your request in the system under each file, because I want to I like to document everything.
So do I.
Request for hearing format to be converted back to electronic.
And I need a minimum of 3 hours. I'm pretty sure I can get everything in, including time to collect myself, because that's really the most that I need time for, and to be able to go through everything slowly, because I can't push myself into talking about too much, because my jaw locks up, my heart races, my mouth gets really dry, my lips stick together. like and my jaw literally starts to lock up. Like I have a very physical response to reliving my trauma, and I need time, quite a bit in between that.
Okay. I'm putting all of the notes. 24.
And I would like enough time before my hearing to have somebody with me as a support.
Okay, we don't provide support persons.
I know that.
So that's.
I have to find it. I'll find it.
You have it, okay.
I'll find somebody to sit with me. I just need somebody to just be like, remind me when I need a break, because I don't know when to take a break, and I need somebody there to be like, whoa, okay, Aaron, calm down, time out, let's just walk around for a minute and come back. Like I don't have the ability while I'm going down the hill to stop. Like, once I start rolling down that hill full speed, it just keeps getting more and more traumatizing, and I start getting really triggered, and then I start going all over the place, and then it just becomes a very slippery slope, and then people start discriminating me and telling me they start trying to control me, and then I lose my ability to focus.
Okay. I'm going to send an additional email to tell them that you need 3 hours. So you told me by phone that you need 3 hours.
Yes.
Let me just let me grab that email. And actually, I'm going to put that in my notes too. 1 second, I'm going to add that.
The mediation with, and I've done this before. This is not the first time I've done this. The mediation with Manulife and Stantec took about 6 hours in Toronto, with multiple breaks, and it got very, very heated a lot. So I have to protect myself and not allow myself to get like that, and I need support during that time to be able to notice when I'm starting to get traumatized by, or physically affected by reliving the trauma, which I am now, as you can tell.
Yeah, no, I know. Oh. Okay, sorry, I'm just putting the note here. And let me see, Henry. Also. Okay.
I still can't believe she's never written. I still can't believe. Wow. Oh God, that really stuck out. Number 4, I have barely read most of it. I've read the things that really stand out, and I'm still
very shocked that the landlord had never submitted anything. I can't believe that.
That's the one I'm talking. Yeah, that's what I'm like. I still can't believe it either. I still can't. And she's had people bully me online. She's had her friends bully me online and talk about details regarding this case that only someone on the inside would know, like how much I haven't paid in rent and things like that. And they've been going all over my wall and posting things and harassing me, and I'm just like, you have all this time to orchestrate all of these people to do these things for you, but you can't submit anything to the Ontario Landlord Tenant Board?
Yeah.
Or are you kidding me? You have to go that far out of your way to make my life miserable, and you actually think you're gonna you think this is gonna look good in the end? And not submit anything? Nothing?
Yeah. Okay, I'm just adding it in the other file now. Everything I do in one file, I have to do in the other. Okay, so I
that's
just
okay.
need
I get it. I'm sorry. I'm just traumatized right now, Sonia. I'm really sorry. You're doing amazing.
So much here files, because everything is really they're both related, right? So if I don't put it under one and only on the other, then people might miss that and then schedule them wrong, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
is it all being heard by the same judge?
Everything has to match. Everything has to match.
And everything's going to be heard by the same judge?
Yes. Everything has to match and will be heard by the same judge.
So I'm going to have to supply all the evidence of all my losses. You know how many losses I've had since I tried to flee the country because of her now? I did not try and flee this country until the police refused to protect her after she tried to run me over. When she pushed me 10 meters with her car, and the police...
that will be all in your evidence too, right? And like you said, you have videos to submit.
Yeah, but when the cops did nothing, I ran. I was actually terrified for my life that she would do something worse than that, and I was scared to leave my home. I was scared to go outside. The trauma that she has caused in my life. And how far she's gone to hurt me. I literally sold off everything that was important to me. I almost sold off my art. I sold everything down to 5 suitcases to get out of this country to protect myself from this woman who the Landlord and Tenant Board has refused to protect me against. I have lost everything. I've lost my reputation begging people for help. I've lost my physical health. I've lost my spiritual, my mental. Every single thing in my existence has been depleted to, the inheritances that I have left because of this woman. It's all I have left. It's really, really, all my plants are gone. I've lost everything. My garden, everything, my dog.
Yeah, I remember about the dog.
And I think I have enough.
That she poisoned the dog.
Yeah. And I think we have enough evidence beyond reasonable doubt that I can say that confidently on record, with her proven narrative of psychotic, sadistic behavior, that she is definitely of character to do such a thing.
Yeah. Okay, now I have to make sure that I put that everywhere. Let me just see. Okay, yeah. And now I'm just going to resend that email to and I'm going to say, also, please note that I am on the phone with Mr. ONEIL. And it has indicated that 3-hour time duration due to his accommodation needs. The needs are listed under the accommodation shower and previous requests from the tenant. He has autism, is indigenous, what else do I want to put here? Which he has confirmed, but he will retain on his end. I am placing notes in. Okay, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for your patience because I want to make sure I capture everything, right?
No, I appreciate it.
Okay, let me just go see this. Okay, so now. Okay, so now it's in their hands, okay? It's in the vice chair hands, member hands, and I did send it to the vice chair, but I also sent it to Kimberly Parrish, who's the one that just did that interim order today.
Okay.
Because it's possible that she'll
Hello? Oh, are you there? My phone is not working. Are you there, Zania? I've lost you. I don't know if it's me or... Oh, call failed.